Hey everybody, Charlie and I are 2 here, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We last left off, we were looking at Mr. Oh, I can't remember his name. Gottlieb's? It's probably not that. Gottdeb's, something like that. This old dude's apartment with his maid here. Clearly he's retired from the military. Can't let go of the past. Let's continue looking around and see what we can see. So we looked at everything. I believe we've looked at everything in the apartment. Yes. Oh, we haven't looked at his cane? That may be himself. I believe it is. Sorry for the hiccup there. Good day to you. John Garrett, not Gottlieb. Garrett. At your service. Garrett. Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. He is a defense lawyer. Do excuse me not getting up. Took a shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of Maiwand, don't you know? Earned a medal for my pains, but had to withdraw from service. Handed over the reins to the up-and-comings. Okay, so you didn't retire, you served a little bit. So he's a retired soldier. Well, you just said he's not retired. He served a little bit and had to get out early. It's a hell of a job getting up and down stairs now. I can tell you don't get out much, as you can imagine. Yes, it's quite a climb up here to the second floor. Okay, this confirms my theory that we are on, in fact, the second floor. I was painting at the top of the stairs. Or I was panting, not painting. I was panting at the top of the stairs. You really must take more exercise, Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah, you should. Oh, do you think so? Well, Mr. Garrett, no doubt you were very courageous to earn yourself a medal. Oh, it was nothing. The medal's just a folder roll? That's another word I don't recognize. Folder roll, really. Wouldn't like to offend the general, though, so I grudgingly displayed it on the wall. Why don't you fetch it down, Joan? Let these good people see it properly. Joan, fetch the... Oh my god! Dash it all, woman. Be careful. Oh, dearie me. I beg your pardon, sir. You jolly near took the skin off my hands. I shall be more careful, sir. So anyway, there you have it. Living the quiet life now. Yes, I see. Now then, I hear you want to know about the chap lodging downstairs. Is that right? Where is Herlock Sholmes? I guess he's downstairs. Yes, we'd be very grateful if you could answer some questions for us. Only 2, please, naturally, especially if it helps to keep the peace here in Blighty. We've forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you're aware. So in this case, it's very much in the public eye, as it were. Oh, is it? Even had some famous detective poking around, you know. In this old house, would you believe? Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Could have been. Didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea, all that detective business. Oh, but you have a copy of Rant's magazine here, so... No. Anyway, the chap's investigating the foreigner's room as we speak. So he's in Soseki-san's room. It's a bally nuisance is what it is. The whole neighborhood's twitching its curtains now. I don't like all this fuss. It's jolly unsettling. Alright, about Mr. Natsume. About Mr. Natsume then, Mr. Garrett, please do tell us. Yes, the Japanese chap. Only been lodging here for a week. Oh, just 1 week? So he moved in very recently then. I have 2 lodgers most of the time. One on the ground floor and one just below us, so we are on the 3rd floor. The 1st floor room became available a week ago, you see. There have been ARG! Dash it old, Joan. Do be careful. Oh my goodness, I'm terribly sorry, sir. So is Joan purposely pouring this tea on him to prevent him from telling us too much? feel like that might be the case. I'm terribly sorry, sir. If you want to know my opinion, I thought he was a shady sort from the moment I set eyes on him. Okay, so yeah, you're purposely throwing shade on him now. So was it your sister or one of your fellow maid friends that you somehow tried to murder? Okay, let's keep going. Oh, why? He seemed to have a most nervous disposition, always shaking and looking over his shoulder. The man had shady written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you ask me. You literally used the word shady. I said it to myself, Joan, that man is trouble. Sooner or later, he's going to do something untoward. Did you say that, Joan? Did you really say that, or are you just being dramatic like everybody in this whole universe? And I'm rarely wrong about anything. Rarely wrong? You're a maid in a house that is a mess. And you're rarely wrong. Okay. We won't be calling this maid as a witness, that's for sure. Was there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all? Yes, oh yes, indeed there was. And she's dying to tell us. The shady lodger. Had you noticed anything else at all about your lodger, Mr. Natsume? Oh my word, yes. The man was shadier than an orchard. Could you elaborate? Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books it is, more than anyone could ever read. And he never so much as passes the time of day with another living soul. I haven't seen a single visitor call. He just trots off to that old bookshop every single day and comes back at 5 to light the gas fire. And the funny little man is up long past the time everyone else in the house has gone to bed, too. Oh, I see. The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed at around 9 each night. But I've never known that Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning. How would you know this unless you were up? Could you clarify something, I wonder? What, pray? How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine? Oh. I'd understood that neither of the lodgers live on this floor of the house, is that correct? That's right, yes. They're both below us on the first floor and street level. Oh, so first floor to you would be what I would call second floor. Street level, first floor, second floor, where I would say first floor, second floor, third floor. Okay, that's what was confusing me. So he was sandwiched in the middle of these two. Well, these two here, and then the renter on the street level floor. Then how is it that you know so much about the lives of your lodgers? The precise times that they come back in the evening, for example, even the times they go to bed. Arg. Good grief, Joan. Be more careful, woman. Oh my goodness, sir. I'm terribly sorry, sir. Something doesn't add up here. I agree. The incident 2 days ago. What can you tell us about it? It seems that the incident took place at around 5 in the evening. Did you happen to look out of the window at around that time? The window? Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out over Briar Road. The incident took place on the pavement just on that far side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering nearby? 5 o'clock is dinner time in the Garrett household, so I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, Joan? No, sir. It would have been dusk outside already at that hour. And with the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road. Oh, I see. Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary then? Such as? Anything at all, even if it seems unrelated. Well... Yes, was there something then? Well, if it's nothing particularly significant, but Joan is going to burn him again. For the love of God, Joan, watch what you're doing. Oh, dearie me, what have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir. Do be more careful, woman. Of course, sir. If I may, Mr. Naruhalo. Oh, yeah? I have an exceedingly good memory, and as far as I remember, nothing of any significance took place here at that hour. Nothing at all. Oh, really, Mr. Garrett? The way you were talking before, it sounded rather like there might have been. Oh, well, as I was saying, it was just a trifling matter, really, nothing of... Joan dash it all, what is the matter with you, woman? Just trying to keep him from speaking. Begging your pardon, sir. Nothing happened. Yes, quite. Nothing happened. We sat down to a quiet, uneventful meal, Joan? That's right, Mr. Garrett. What is the matter with these two? Sounds like something happened here in this room on the evening of the incident, but what? Wish I knew. Alright, let's talk about Mr. Natsume's room. Could you tell us which floor Mr. Natsume's room is on? It's on the first floor, which to me is the second floor. Why, certainly, just below us on the first floor. And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there, even as we speak? Yes, told me Nats's name, had asked him to look into the matter, so I gave him the key. Mr. Natsume has engaged Mr. Sholmes' services? That's a blatant lie. Would it be alright if we also had a look around in Mr. Natsume's room, I mean? Don't see why not. It's just down one flight of stairs. Who knows if we'll find anything that could help us with the case, but we have to try. We need all the clues we can lay our hands on, shall we? We shall, yes. And while we're there, we can speak with Mr. Sholmes again. Perhaps he'll be able to tell us more. You are still fangirling over this man. Alright, I think that's it. We spoke to them as a pair, so I doubt we can speak to her alone. Yep. Let's go ahead and move. New location has been added. This is the suite on the top floor of the Garrett household, occupied by the landlord, Mr. Garrett, and his wife. His wife? Is Joan his wife? I thought that was his maid. So if that's not his wife, then where's his wife? The window looks out over Briar Road below. Mr. Natsume's room. A small, dark room rented by a visiting scholar from the Empire of Japan by the name of Soseki Natsume. Let's go check it out. Oh my, it's rather dark in here. So the windows are bricked up from here on down. It's only the top one where you can see out of the window. So he's got the beckoning cat. I think that's a good luck thing, right? He's got gas lantern. What appears to be some form of a stove or something to heat the kettle. He's got a cat. And just tons and tons and tons of books. Let's check it out. Looks like a bag down there too. What? Just look at this place. And smell it. It's so musty in here. I suppose it's the mountains of old books that are responsible for that. She doesn't look too comfortable. I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life. No, me neither. so dark in here, too. Is that the window over there? Well, it was the window, I think. Yes, once upon a time. But for some reason, it's been closed up with bricks and mortar. So this is where Mr. Natsume lives. By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere, have you? No, that's true, but according to what Mr. Garrett told us, the great detective should be around here somewhere investigating. He's going to appear out of thin air like he always does. All right, let's examine. There's no music here either. It's kind of creepy. All right, first thing we're examining is the kitty cat. Aww. You're adorable. Oh, does it just leave? Oh my, what an adorable little cat. Perhaps he's looking after all the books while his master is away. I don't know about that. He disappeared into that pile of books as quick as a flash. It was a tricolor Mike, wasn't it? Do they even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain? Or Mike? Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought the little creature with him from Japan. That's made me feel homesick now. Already? We've only been in the country for 2 days. Yeah, we've been out of the country for longer. All right, let's start at the left, work our way around. Can we see the good luck cat? Yeah. Oh, look, it's a beckoning cat from home. It's a bit big and bulky, isn't it? Surely Mr. Natsume didn't bring that Meniki Neko all the way from Japan with him? I'm sorry if I butchered that. I don't know Japanese. I hardly think you're in a position to comment, Mr. Naruhodo. Are you forgetting the enormous Daruma doll that you brought in your luggage? What is a Daruma doll? Well, it can be dangerous traveling abroad. I wanted a lucky charm. Well, I imagine Mr. Natsume wanted the same, and this cat is sure to beckon good luck to him. It's not doing a very good job so far, is it? No, it is not. You mustn't say such things. I didn't say a word. Why are my eyes such a giveaway? I think that we think we're saying this stuff to ourselves, and the whole time we've been saying it out loud. All right, let's click on this. It looks like, what is this? There's a lock on it. Some type of meter, maybe for the gas. This appears to be some sort of meter on the wall here. It looks very robust. Apparently I had a good guess. I wonder what it's for. There's a slot for inserting coins here too. It's a coin slot? Ah, I believe that is a gas meter, Mr. Naruhodo. Gas meter? Yes, it seems there is piped gas in this district, which customers pay for by putting coins in the meter. So if we were to put a coin in the slot, that would be enough gas to use the lights and the gas fire for the whole night. How much coins would we need to put in there for that? So if you're too poor to have a coin, you'd have to spend the night in the dark and freezing cold? That's right. As would a rich man who only carried crisp white notes. Brr, London is a scary place. All right, let's look at the books. Look at all those books stacked up there. They almost reach the ceiling. They're all works of English literature, and they all smell so musty. With this volume of books to hand, you'd never be short of reading material, would you? No, what a dreamy idea. A bad dream, maybe, for me at least, or maybe even a Twilight Zone episode. Mind you, I don't imagine the book that's at the bottom of the pile now will ever be read again. Ah, so reading it is an experience that comes but once in a lifetime, just as the tea ceremony teaches us. The what now? I certainly didn't expect the conversation to turn down the path of tea ceremony philosophy. What's this bag? We cannot look at this bag? Why would we not look at this bag? Let's look at the trash. Look at all these balls of paper on the floor. There are notes scrawled all over them in English. Looks like the waste paper basket is so full they've just fallen out. I think Mr. Natsume must have been deeply immersed in his research, don't you? or deeply averse to tidying up his mess. Or both. Could be both. Doesn't have to be mutually exclusive, excuse me. I wouldn't like to speculate which is closer to the truth. What's that? Can't look at that. Let's look at the window. Could you even call this a window? Quite literally, no. I think so. It was a window at one time, after all. Although all that remains is a frame around some bricks now. So really, it's just a wall then, isn't it? But why would anyone deliberately brick it up like that? I'm afraid I have no idea. Ah, perhaps Mr. Natsume painted the brick design in on a fit of whimsy. Painted? Ugh, that's alarmingly feasible? Anyway, whatever the reason, the lack of ventilation in here makes the place very oppressive. It does. I imagine being cooped up in a room like this would be extremely trying. If I were to venture a guess, I would say, one, windows back then couldn't have been very efficient. So I imagine you would lose a lot of heat and it'd get very cold. And or two, it could have been broken and windows were probably expensive as well. And it may have been cheaper to brick that up, both for heating concerns and maybe it was cheaper than replacing the glass on a broken window. Who knows? We'll see where that goes. Let's look at his desk. That desk seems to be wedged into a crevasse between the mountains of books on either side. I suppose Mr. Natsume would sit there and read while stroking his cat. Hey. It's a family show. Family channel, family show. Get your mind out of the gutter. But surrounded on all sides by these towering old tomes, surely he dreamt of books every night as well. Yes, he must have done, mustn't he? Oh, what's this? It's a receipt from a second-hand bookshop. Your books. Oh yes, Mr. Natsume's name is on it. Look, and the date of the purchase. 2 days ago at 4:45 p.m. That's the day of the incident. This must be entered in the court record. That's just a short while before he was embroiled in the terrible attack. He must have been on his way back from buying some old books. The second-hand book receipt has been entered into the court record. A receipt discovered in Mr. Natsume's room for some books that he had purchased from a second-hand bookshop before the incident occurred. Let's look at it. Customer, Mr. Natsume, your books, 17th February, 4:45 p.m. The sum of 2 shillings tendered in the receipt of the picture of Monsieur Lecoq, a mill for Gabriel, and Canterbury yearnings. Can we turn it around? We cannot turn it around. That's it. That's all we can do with it. Let's go back. 3 books. All right. We can't look at anything else on the desk. Can't look at this bag. Can't look at the kettle. Let's look this way. And I bet you Mr. Sholmes is over here. How much y'all want to bet? Yep. Right there he is. Figured he would be just out of sight. I don't see anything else here. He's just over here chilling, reading a book. All right, let's talk to him. Look, Mr. Naruhodo. Yeah, no one saw that coming. There he is. Where did he appear from? He seems to be engrossed in the pages of an old book. I hope he won't mind if we disturb him. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. You two, good day. Now, let me see. Where was it that we bet? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, we were together on the SS Burya. Yes, of course, the Burya. And let me see. What happened on that voyage? You have, dementia, Mr. Sholmes? It was Kazuma Asagi. He died, tragically. But you were a great help to us. Yes, but of course, the case of Mr. Asagi. It was the one with the snake, wasn't it? Oh, well, you seem to remember something of it at least. What an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great Herlock Sholmes. This is Mr. Oh, no, my dear madam, hold your tongue. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. Your names are safely recorded in my brain attic. Miss Naruhodo and Mr. Susato. Wow, you suck. Try the other way around, Mr. Sholmes. Ha ha ha. I lose the first round. I think you lose like all the rounds. In truth, I had hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street suite the day we arrived in London. But some Scotland Yarders ambushed me at the railway station and whisked me away to a crime scene. It was an entirely trivial case, of course. I solved the matter in no more than 30 minutes. So they apprehended Soseki-san in that short an amount of time? I'm afraid the pursuance of a new case has dulled my recollection of past involvements a little. A little? It is a mistake to think that one's brain attic has elastic walls and can distend to any extent. I do my best to forget useless facts, lest they should elbow out the useful ones. Yes, those are my own words of inimitable wisdom, you know, from an adventurer entitled A Study in Scarlet. Please, there's no need to quote yourself. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom, but fortunately my associate pens them beautifully. He means Iris, I suppose. Mr. Sholmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned. Goodness, what an earnest expression. My dear madam, I should be only too pleased, and this murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case. Are you going to present how you found this? Converse. Mr. Natsume's arrest. We know this to be the lodgings of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Soseki Natsume. It seems that you assisted in his arrest, Mr. Sholmes, for the stabbing of a young woman outside here on Briar Road. Natsume, yes, I believe it was a name rather along those lines. But Mr. Natsume denies it. Was it really justifiable to arrest him on so little? I'm sorry, Miss Susato, but I have not the slightest idea what you mean. What? I can't believe he was looking Susato-san squarely in the eyes while feigning ignorance. I assure you, I'm not merely feigning ignorance. They can hear my thoughts. It would appear as if the pair of you are under some misapprehension. Oh, how? I assure you I have no recollection of accusing your stupid compatriot of the crime. But that doesn't make sense. The good detective of Scotland Yard made the following request to me, and I quote verbatim. We need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of a man seen fleeing the crime scene. Ah, a man seen fleeing. There were a number of books scattered on the pavement at the scene. From the book plates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop from which they had been purchased. On speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to this address. Elementary, wouldn't you say? Yes, you're correct. I believe there is a receipt around here somewhere from the establishment in question. So you don't think Mr. Natsume is the culprit then? That I could not tell you. But it was aggravating my faculties, hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of fascinating books, I found myself quite lost in bibliophilia? And bibliophilia. Hope I said that right. Do not be deceived into believing that I am a man of leisure. No. Leisure, leisure, same thing. Oh dear. Alright, we'll talk about Mr. Garrett the Landlord. Tell me. Have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings? Yes, Mr. Garrett, a retired military man. It was the first time I've ever met a soldier from the great British institution that is the services. It was the first time I've ever met a maid from the great British institution that is service. Really, Susato? Sholmes liked it. I didn't think it was that funny. I do apologize. As you may well be aware, many households in London employ a maid. Yes, I read as much in my Great Britain primer. And so conversely, whether or not a household employs a maid has come to betoken the social standing of those dwelling therein. Betoken their social standing? Sorry? Put simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who do not are beneath that. In the upper echelons of society, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family. Goodness, how extraordinary. As you can appreciate, for those on the precarious boundary between the middle and lower classes, being able to afford just one maid is of the first importance. I had no idea. And it is for precisely that reason that I find great stimulation in the situation upstairs. Specifically, in the retired Army veteran, Mr. John Garrett. Oh? Affable as he is, the fellow is hiding something. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I am as yet unable to ascertain. I'm thoroughly lost in what he means to say. I'm not. He's saying that it would be odd that the guy upstairs can afford a maid based on like the quality and condition of this dwelling. And the fact that he retired from the service early would also go to say that he wouldn't have much money other than these 2 apartments that he lets. So there's something shady there, and the maid kept pouring tea on him to keep him from speaking. But we'll have to figure that out next episode. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy my content, please consider a like, a comment, and or a subscribe. Stay tuned for the next episode. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.